Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. In the last session we have seen search by tag name. So whatever we are clicking on the tag name, the items getting filtered from the database. Okay, now it's time to integrate the cart. So here you can see cart works is the text which is coming from the cart component. So where we have added this one inside the home component.html. After the call mod 8 we have added call mod 4. So in this one we have used app-cart as a selector. So let's copy the basic snippet which I have prepared for the cart. So let's go here and copy this basic snippet, static HTML code. In order to save some time, I have used this one, and we have some small CSS. Let's copy this one and paste it inside the CSS file. Now go to the browser. So here you can see on the right hand side section, you can able to see cart is empty and this is the cart section. Okay, now it's time to create the cart model. So now go to the application, VS Code, and inside the shared we were creating the models. So let's start with creating a cart item. So here you can see, let's close all of these tabs, shared, models, and you can create cart item.ts, and one more is cart.ts, cart.ts. So we'll be creating first cart item. So what it contains, the cart item, basically the quantity, price, and we already created the food item. So this all will contain the cart item. Let's create export class cart item. So what it will contain, basically food item. It's a part of food item, quantity and price. So here you can import food. So you can import food, import food, and you can create a constructor for this cart item, constructor, and you can take that in the constructor, the food item. So food, type of food. Now take the remaining instance variable, and what we want, quantity, which is a number. By default it will be 1. So let's add this one. We not require that one. Where we are adding, we are adding inside the constructor. Let's add this one after the constructor instance variables. Okay, price, which is type of number. By default it will be the from the food, this dot food dot price. Okay, we are getting it from the here. So we got the cart item. What we are doing, just we have imported the food item and injected inside the constructor. So it is becoming part of the cart item. So now let's create cart. We'll be importing this cart item inside the cart. Import cart item, export class cart. So we'll be having these things, items, as a cart item. Let's initialize this into empty array. Now total price, which is number equal to 0, and total count, so type of number equal to 0. Now we have successfully created the cart item and cart. So let's use these things. Then we click on add items. Okay. Now if we go to the application, whenever we are clicking on add to cart, we have to add this particular item onto the right hand side section. So let's do that. Now let's go to cart service first. Let's add to cart method inside the cart service. Let's go to cart service. So we have created the initial cart service, which is having the basic data. So inside this one we will have to add some methods, add to cart, remove from cart, and this kind of things. We can use the price incremental and quantity incremental methods in this one. So let's take the cart item, cart private cart, which is cart we are taking, and which is, it is a type of cart. We have created the model just now, and the initial value of this one will be, we are taking it from the get data from the local storage. So we'll be using the get data from local storage. So as we know, cart will be containing mostly data from the local storage, so we'll be checking from the local storage. So this is a method. So let's create this one first and see. So what it will do is, it will be checking whether the data is present inside the local storage. If it is present, let's take it from there. Otherwise it will be creating new cart, so which will be having empty thing. By default the cart will be empty. So let's see how we can create the get data from the local storage. So let's make this one as const cart.json. So we wanted to see if the data is present inside the cart or not. So for example, local storage dot get item, we are checking by using local storage dot get item. So for example, this is the key we have used inside the local storage. So we can also use cart key here. Let's make it as const cart underscore key, so we can use it, reuse it everywhere. Okay, cart. So let's use this one. Okay, so what we are doing here, we are getting the cart data from the local storage. If it is present, we will use that one, otherwise we will be creating the new one. So here you can see if it is present, so return cart.json. If it is exist, if the cart.json present, we'll have to parse that particular json.parse cart.json. Otherwise we'll have to create the new instance of the cart. So let's create new cart. So what it will do, it will create the basic values. As we are initiating the class, we'll be having the default values from the cart, so which is like total price, total count will be 0, and all the other items will be empty. So we have successfully created the first thing. Okay, now let's see what we have to add the observable, cart observable. So that also we can add it. So for that one we can use a behavior subject. So let's create that one. So here we have created private cart subject. So we can take one cart subject here, and which is a type of behavior subject. So here we can add behavior subject. So what we are doing, and we can mention the type cart. So what we are doing, cart subject, and we are making it as a behavior subject, and we can initiate the default value, new behavior subject of this dot cart, this dot cart. So we have successfully created the subject, and now we can create the add to cart method. So here if you see, whenever we click on this add to cart button, we have to call this method, add to cart method. Let's add that one, add to cart. Okay, now what it will receive, it receives the item as a food item. So let make this one as food. The item will be food. So each time whenever we are clicking on the particular item add to cart button, we will be receiving that particular food item, and it's a type of food, and it will not return any value, so that we can give void. So let's see first of all whether we are having any items inside the cart, and and also we need to check the particular item is present inside the cart or not. If it is already present, we can simply increment the quantity, otherwise we can add the new item. So let's check for cart item equal to, so we have to check this dot cart dot items dot, we can use find. We have to check before adding any item to the cart, we have to check whether it is present inside the cart or not. So let's see item, we are using the find method for that one. So let's take item arrow function we are using, item dot food dot id. We are using the food id that is present inside this existing cart items or not, which is a type of food dot id. So we are checking whether this particular food item is already present inside the cart items or not. If it is present, if cart item is present, it is already there, we have to increment the quantity. So how we can do that one, cart item dot quantity. Okay, plus so the item is already present inside the cart, so we are just simply increasing the quantity as well as the price. So cart item dot price, so price will be cart dot price equal to cart item dot food dot price multiplied by quantity. So we know the quantity, right? Cart item dot quantity. So here when the user clicks on add to cart, we are checking whether the item is present inside the cart item or not. If it is present, we are simply incrementing the quantity and the price. Okay, now we need to set the local storage. As we have incremented the quantity and price, we can add one more method, set cart to local storage. Cart to local storage. So here we are using this method, and Whenever this item is present, it will come to this block and we have to return this one. After incrementing the quantity and price, we can stop it there itself. Okay, let's add this method and we'll implement this method later. And if the item is not present inside the cart, what we'll have to do, we'll have to push that particular item into the cart. So let's do that one, the next block. So let's assume the item is not present. This dot cart dot items dot push, we need to push to the cart item if it is a not existing already. Okay, so if it is present, what we are doing, we are doing quantity and price increment. So now let's push new cart item and food. So we are pushing that one into cart items. Now again you can use this dot local storage. Okay, so this is one way. Now we have to use set cart to local storage method. Okay, let's implement set cart to local storage method. Let's go there, Visual Studio Code. So in this method, what we'll be doing is we'll be doing the item to the local storage. We'll be setting that item to the local storage. So before doing that one, we'll have to do some changes here. So let's say we have to increment the total price, right? So this dot cart dot total price equal to, we can use items dot reduce. So this dot cart dot items dot reduce. So we'll have to calculate the total amount, right? So in that way we can use reduce method here. Let's take previous value, previous sum, comma current item. So current item, arrow function. So we have to add these things. So previous sum plus current item dot price. Okay, the initial value also we need to pass. So whenever it comes to cart items, the initial value will be, total price will be 0. So what reduce will do, it will add the previous value for each and every item. So previous sum plus current item plus price. Okay, we'll get the total price. In the same way we have to do for the total count. Let's do the same thing. This dot cart dot total count. Total count equal to, so what we have to do, the same way, this dot cart dot items dot reduce. Okay, so in this one, same way we can use previous sum and cart item. You can name any variable name here. Let's use same previous sum comma current item. Current item, the arrow function. So let's do the same thing, but only difference is here we have to add the quantity. So previous sum plus current item dot quantity, and you can mention the initial value. See here we have added the set to cart local storage. So if you go here, why we are doing this one is the cart type. If you look at the cart class, it is having total price and total count and the items. So what we are doing inside the cart service, we have to calculate the total price and total count. Then we can push the items to the cart. So we have done that successfully. Let's check for the JSON which is present inside the local storage. So let cart JSON. Okay, first JSON.stringify. We need to stringify that one. This dot cart. Okay, so the items are pushed to the cart. We have to stringify this one before setting it into the local storage. So local storage dot set item, and we can use cart key comma cart JSON. Here you can see cart JSON, and we can also update the cart subject. This dot cart subject dot next, so that we can have the updated value every time. This dot cart. So here what we are doing in this method, we are calculating the total price and total count, and we are setting the cart item to local storage, and we are also updating the cart subject. So now let's go to the home component.html. Whenever the user clicks on add button, add to cart, we have to update that one here inside the cart, and we have to loop through that one here. So let's do that one. Now let's add click event for this add to cart. Let's go to the home component.html, and where is that button? Here. So let's add click event. Click on add click. Just I'm making this one as on add click. So we can pass the food here on add click, and let's add this event inside the component file. So here what we will be doing is it's a type of food. Okay, now we'll have to import the cart service. Import cart service and inject inside the constructor. Make it private underscore cart service cart service. So now we have to call this method add to cart inside the cart. So let's do that. This dot cart service dot add to cart. Let's pass food. So here what we are doing, we have created the add to cart method inside the cart service. Now whenever we click on add to button inside the home page, so this method will be calling, and this will get triggered inside the cart service. So add to cart, what we are doing, as we are passing the food items, first we are checking for the item which is present inside the cart items. So if it is already present, so we are simply incrementing the quantity as well as price. Okay, now and also we are setting the local it to local storage. What we are doing inside the local storage, we have to calculate the total price and total count and set it to the local storage. Now let's go to home component.ts and add one observable. So here what we can do is, as we are calling this add to cart method, let's add one more method to check get cart observable. So what it will do is it will return the observable is dot cart subject dot as observable. Next, so what it will do, it will simply return the observable so that we can able to subscribe it any component. Now let's subscribe this inside the cart component. Okay, now here import cart service, cart service, and add implements all in it and g1. Okay, now let's inject inside the constructor private underscore cart service, cart service. Okay, now what we can do is we can subscribe that particular cart observable. So this dot cart service dot get observable dot subscribe cart data. So we can take food, so the type of food. So let's see how we are getting the data. Sorry, it's not a food, it's a cart item, right? So let's take variable on top of it, cart, which is a type of cart. Okay, let's import cart and add the exclamation symbol here. So now let's change this to cart. So what we are doing inside this one, we are subscribing the cart data. So here we can assign this one to this dot cart data. This dot cart equal to cart data. We are getting one issue. Let's see what is that one. Get observable not exist. So let's see what is that issue. So what is that issue? Here we are missing the return type. Observable of cart, and we are not returning this one. Now let's go to the cart component.ts and print this one console.log. This dot cart. So let's go to the browser and see whether it is updating it to the, when we click on add to cart, it has to be updated. Okay, let's see add to cart. So I'm click 2 times on add to cart. See, if you see here, we got the items, food, one time. See here, meat. So this is a cart item. Let's clear the cart completely. Let's go to the application and clear site data. Now refresh the page and see. Okay, let's clear the console and now click on meat. Now go to the console and see cart has one item. which is nothing but meat. So we can loop these cart items onto the right hand side section of this cart. So I'm clicking on hamburger and pizza. Let's go here and see how many items we should have. 3. So here inside the cart we are having 3 items. Okay, so in the next section we will be looping these cart items in the cart component, and we'll also be adding removing the items from the cart. We'll be adding plus or minus symbols to increment or decrement the cart items, and also we'll be adding checkout route. When we click on checkout route, it will be navigate to checkout, where we collect the sample basic details of the user, and we will navigate it to the payment gateway. So thank you guys for watching, and we will see you in the next session.